here.
It's my very great pleasure to welcome everyone here today. Thank you all for coming to celebrate this very happy occasion with us. I was advised by the best man that I have to reminisce a little in my speech. Kate joined us just over 21 years ago. And we were delighted she chose us as parents because she's been a wonderful daughter and it's been a wonderful time we've had with her. Specific reminiscences are difficult. The one that always, or the two that always are outstanding in my mind are, one, a very tiny Kate coming to help me one day to wash up. She was still waddling around and managed to push a chair to the draining board and grabbed a wiping out cloth, and in spite of my insistence that she shouldn't help, she won and she helped. I thought I'd mention this, Nigel, because if she wants to wipe up, you must let her the second, I think, quite unique occurrence, Kate, having seen Sarah and Tim before her go to school, went to school for the first day and gave the teacher hell in the afternoon because the teacher wouldn't give her any homework. I don't know, Nigel, what the parallel of that is. But Kate has been a splendid daughter. She's helped us enormously. She's applied herself at school, and we're looking forward to her graduating this time next year. Oh, I think about 2 or perhaps 3 years ago, we became aware of Nigel coming on the scene. And after 2 or 3 visits, a suspicion was voiced within the family that it was believed that Nigel knew there was an engine under his bonnet. But we think his mechanical abilities stopped there. However, within 18 months, we had him nonchalantly changing water pumps, repairing all sorts of things that went wrong with the car. Until now, we think we've got him to the stage where we welcome him as a new son-in-law. We're very delighted to welcome you to join form with the family. You've been with us on and off for some time. It was a little strange because I really thought Nigel was coming to see me. The time that he went off to college, Nigel didn't call. I think this was odd. So I'm going to, in addition to reminiscing very briefly about Kate and Nigel, I particularly want to thank Rosemary for the amount of work she's put into preparing. She's done a tremendous amount of work, and really we had to grab her this morning and somebody guided her to the bedroom to get ready to come. So well done indeed, Rosemary. Well done. And I've always been advised to speak up and then shut up. So that brings me to the end of my little speech here. So I want to propose the toast of Kate and Nigel and the very best of both of you. Kate?
Okay, well. Actually, you've just read half my speech. I was going to do a bit about the mechanics. Well, yes, I've got to say thank you very much to Kate's mum and dad for having Kate. In your terminology, it's the third major event in your life. Let's also say thank you very much for Kate to marry me. So washing up. Actually, I was going to say that I was very ignorant about sort of engineering matters, and I've likened the sort of last 3 years of courtship to a course at Brunel. I'm actually going to get sort of Mr. Patrick there to come and who? What's that? English class next.
I'm not hiding that.
Karen, right, Karen. Anyway, but I must say thank you very much for the last engineering skills that I've obtained from the Leary household. Pretty wonderful. We can't go without actually, the rest of the afternoon without mentioning the patio and the steps. In that of blood, toil, swearing, rain, it's actually got into them is absolutely wonderful. So to make all this possible, really, it's just fantastic. And the other thing is about that. See, on the 25th wedding anniversary last year, you said that sort of you, after the 6 major events in your life, Sarah's actually taken on the responsibility of carrying on. Well, actually, we want to register a possible competition.
Sarah,
not for a while. What else have I got to say? The other thing is the fact that all the people from where I work. Thank you very much for coming all this way from sunny Buckinghamshire. I am actually going to take my brain back with me August the 17th because I left it at home most of the time last week. And thank you very much for putting up. Finally, I've got to say thank you very much to Kate's mum again. for all the effort that she's done.
Take the price tag off.
You got it all.
I got it all.
And I have to, make a toast now. Propose a toast to the bridesmaids and Francis and James for helping out. To the bridesmaids and the rest.
The bridesmaids. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my final task as best man, having passed Nigel over to the good care of Kate here, is, before I get too drunk to reply on behalf of the bridesmaids. Now, judging by their performance so far today, I really don't think they need me to champion them. Now, several things have come to my notice, and unfortunately one of them is that I've been informed that the traditional perks of the best man in relation to the chief bridesmaid are applicable only to best men still in the state, or the unhappy state, of bachelorhood. And that means that I have got to conduct myself in a manner befitting an elderly married gentleman. And you can make of that what you will. Now, I haven't actually got all this written down because I had enough to think of this morning. Now, the bridesmaids. I really must say that these ladies have done Kate proud today. And I'm sure that it must have been a great comfort to Kate to know that in case of any last-minute unforeseen emergencies, she had only to turn to young Louise for a quiet gurgle of sound advice in the background. And I also feel that, considering the very wide range of ages amongst the bridesmaids, that certain members, particularly younger members of the entourage, must have found, or will have found by this evening, that today has been something of a test of stamina. And are we all on our feet again at the back? And I think that possibly out of all the bridesmaids, Jane is probably the one best equipped to cope with this, as I'm reliably informed that she's a keen long-distance runner. I would therefore thank you, sir, for your toast on behalf of the bridesmaids, and I would also like to thank the bridesmaids on behalf of Kate. And here I would like to give Kate a very brief word of advice, because I believe that it is traditional for the bride, on departure from the reception, to throw her bouquet to the bridesmaid, and that the bridesmaid catching the bouquet, by tradition, will be the next to be married. Now, please do not throw it in Louise's direction. Now, as best man, I would also like to say a few words about Nigel. Now,
Turn off the TV.
Don't worry. As some of you probably know, Nigel was my best man when Chris and I were married several years ago. And I had thought that my duties as best man would be best performed by following Nigel's example. And then I thought that turning up late, feeling sick, and disappearing on the way to the ceremony with two rather attractive young ladies on the pretext of being stuck in traffic probably would not go down too well here. So, now, I've known Nigel now for several more years than I care to remember, and I first met him when he worked with my wife at Equity and Law, which company he has worked for on and off for several years. Now, we rapidly became good friends, and this is actually quite surprising, because if you know Nigel, or if as I did, you got to know Nigel through purely social events such as dinner parties. And at this moment it's actually worth checking to see that he's still awake. If you know Nigel purely through social events,
you'll find that you don't really have very much time to get to know him, because by around 9 o'clock he's usually sound asleep. And it does, however, it provides quite good entertainment for those amongst us who like a quiet wager, because you can always make book on by exactly when he would have fallen asleep by. Now, now, Nigel and I do actually share several interests in common, in amongst which are electronics and computer programming. And I believe that Nigel is currently putting to very good use these interests in his current job with Equity and Law. Now, I'm not exactly sure what exactly it is he does do for Equity and Law, but I'm reliably informed by certain employees of that company that one of his major and many essential functions within the company is to ensure that the printer terminals in all the branch offices produce life-size computer printout pictures of Father Christmas on December the 25th each year. Now, amongst other things, there is one particular trait in Nigel's character that is well worth commenting on, and this is his happy knack of seemingly always being able to land on his feet. And to witness this, yesterday, the last minute lightning flit from Hayes to his new home in Tame, everything was so well oiled and well organised, we made it with at least 8 hours to spare. And on a more serious note, as I'm sure you will agree, Nigel has most certainly landed on his feet this time in his choice of Kate as his bride. And I know that not only are they very much in love with each other, they're also very good friends. And I personally feel that is just as important within a relationship. And I'm sure that Nigel could not wish for a lovelier bride than Kate on his wedding day. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish Nigel and Kate everything that they would wish for themselves for their future together, and particularly health and happiness in their new home together in Tame. And speaking of Tame and matters rural, this puts me in mind of Jebediah. Jebediah was an old farmer who, on his 60th birthday, married the pretty 18-year-old milkmaid from the neighbouring farm. And a fortnight after his wedding day, his friend Nathan finds Jebediah in the local pub at the market, drowning his sorrows in a corner. "Don't be married life then, Jeb?" asked Nathan. "I got this terrible problem, that," says Jeb. "I can't keep my hands off of her," he says. "Well, that ain't a problem," says Jeb. "Jeb," says Nathan. "Leastways, at your age, it won't be for long. You mark my words." And a fortnight later, Nathan meets Jeb in the pub again, and he's much happier, Jeb, sitting in the corner knocking it back. And he said, "Don't be your problem now then, Jeb," says Nathan. "What problem be that?" "Well, you're saying as how you couldn't keep your hands off of your young missus," he says. "No, that ain't a problem no more," he says. "No, I cured they buggers," he says. "I bought me a combined harvester and sacked a lot of them." Now, it is my final duty, and I'm reading as a man, to read the telegrams that have arrived for Nigel and Kate today. Now, that is not a telegram, that's a very small card. Now, the first one I find here is to Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Wonder who that is.
From congratulations and very best wishes for your future happiness from all at Equity and Law. And the next one is, this one is addressed only to Nigel. It says, "To Nigel, congratulations on your marriage and thanks again for Wednesday night." Can't wait to see you again after the honeymoon. Ever yours, Laura. Now I've been asked to read one particular card from some people who unfortunately cannot be here today due to illness. The card says, "Congratulations. May the joy that you're sharing on this your wedding day, be with you both forever as you go along life's way. And may today be just the start of many dreams come true, the beginning of a future filled with joy for both of you." And that comes with love from Auntie Mill and Uncle Stan, and a message, "Wish I was there." And we also have a card I've been asked to read from Jane Leon, with every best wishes for your future happiness, Jane Leon. And finally, I have a rather involved telegram from, it's from the Thames Borough Council, addressed to Mr. Says, "Wishing you all the best on your wedding day, and requesting that you contact the borough solicitor as soon as possible after your honeymoon regarding compulsory purchase of property in relation to the continued construction of the M25. And that completes my official duties as best man. Thank you very much.